Hello, welcome back to the channel. As you can see here, sort of our Kit Quest career mode in FIFA 21. So this is going to quickly introduce player, team, kit, and all that good stuff. So as you can see here, we're playing as Leicester City in FIFA 21. So you can probably guess the player here. I know we did like a different Leicester one not that long ago, but as we are kind of starting with FIFA 21 now, like now I'm kind of moving forwards. We are doing another Leicester FIFA 21 one because obviously, if you recall, they won the FA Cup, the 2021 FA Cup. Leicester did with obviously James Maddison here, who's a part of the 2025 Europa League winning squad with Spurs. So he's the Kit Quest player for this Leicester City Kit Quest career mode again. So I'm gonna have two different Leicester kits with him on it. And the kit is not this blue home kit. So as last time it's the home kit. So that's what they won the Community Shield in the 21-22 season. Instead, it is their kind of spiffy third kit from that year, which is like a nice maroon color. Like it looks really nice, like in these pictures on Getty Images from the FA Cup final. I kind of have my spreadsheet as like the header kind of thing on my spreadsheet. Nice picture of Matters with the trophy and the winner's medal around his neck. It's like a spiffy maroon color, which I really like. So yeah, it's gonna be Maddison in the third kit. So it should be a little slightly different from the last one, obviously, because this, I think we're using a different formation stuff. Yeah, we're using a different formation stuff. There should be some different players in the squad and stuff as well. But yeah, so we're back here with Matters again, which I don't really mind TBH because he's probably one of my favorite players from the Europa League winning squad. So I don't really mind having a couple, two Maddison kits in my collection. But yeah, so that's the player kit and the team, and the reason why. Because obviously, as I said, Leicester won the 21 FA Cup. So obviously, if you remember from past ones, that like us winning, so we're obviously going to win that because I match the results of the first season as closely as possible to their actual results from the season. So we're going to win the FA Cup this first season because Leicester did win the FA Cup. So we will see. So that's not going to that's like is not going to count as our like trophy to make this get a success. It's going to be the FA Cup +1. So if we don't win a trophy this first season, it's very possible our trophy will be the Community Shield, which like didn't count in the last one, but will count in this one because like obviously a separate trophy. But kind of we shall see, I suppose. But I guess the last thing to kind of do here, cause formation-wise, I'm just using the default tactics here. So it's a 5-3-2 for kind of three at the back, which is a little different from the other time. I think the other time we used like a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-2-1. So it's gonna be a little awkward here because Maddison is not quite a center mid. So I'm gonna have to try and change his position because he's a -3. But see, maybe that's just because he's content. If he like boosts his morale, maybe it'll be better. But yes, Matter is playing in a midfield 3 with Thielman to obviously score the winner of that FA Cup final, Wilfred Ndidi. But also, these other players are also, as we know, subject to change. And like the last one, the kind of teams we're going to be pulling players from are Coventry, Norwich, Aberdeen, and Spurs, obviously. And then for internationals, if we can't find anyone that fits from those kind of teams that fits, internationals, we're going to go with Italy this time. So I like the FGO manager is Romulus, so Italy internationals are kind of the extra spicy thing to kind of spice things up. We can't find any players from Coventry, Norwich, Aberdeen, or Spurs that kind of fit what we're doing in terms of transfer business. But yeah, so I guess kind of speaking of transfer business, the last thing we'll do here to wrap up is look at the board goals here. I'll put them in my handy little spreadsheet. So let's see. So the first one, the pretty common one here, is the like 2 under 20 players one, which I don't really mind because I do enjoy kind of developing young players. It's kind of fun, like seeing them grow, like have huge leaps in overall stuff. They also usually pretty cheap, so it's easy to get them no matter what club you're playing as. So it should be. Let's see who we can snag this time. The second one we're not going to do because that's like using the academy. All right, so 10 games without defeat. So is that like I'm guessing a 10 game like un-10 match unbeaten run, I'm guessing is what that basically means, which I guess we'll see. Because like Leicester finished 5th that year and made it into the Europa League. Yeah, they finished 5th, so they made it to the Europa League, and obviously we're in the Europa League this season, I think. So that's why kind of success is like not like the minimum kind of pressure on it. And then sign 3. So Americans. So I guess those two youth players, like two under 20 players, are going to have to find players from South America, I suppose. That should be interesting. So I don't know for how easy it's going to be to find players who fit the criteria of having played for Spurs, Aberdeen, Norwich, or Coventry, and are technically South Americans as well. We might be able to pull off because now, like in one of its update, like it updates the FIFA site, they now include like dual nationality eligibility for players. So I might kind of use that to finagle it because if they're like South American people who like play for South America that are also dual eligible for Italy, I might like kind of use them if they're like to fulfill this objective, because that might make it a little easier. Because like finding sure like South American that are under 20, like the third one like who's probably over 20 will probably be easy enough. Like we could find like Romero or Bentancur or like someone similar from like one of the other teams. There's probably like a South American on like Coventry or Aberdeen or Norwich you could probably bring in. But under 20 players, it's gonna be hard. So we'll see. Yeah, I guess we'll find out. You'll find out in a minute or two when we get to the 2020-21 season recap point. But for me, as I'm recording this, I'm obviously like a ways away from that, so I don't know. But you guys will probably find out in a second how I figure that one out. Financial is what 90 million profit. That's not bad. Domestic success, they want us to finish top 4, and then they want us to win the FA Cup, which luckily for them, Leicester actually did that year, so we will win it. And then they want us to win the Europa League as well. Okay. I don't know how well they did that year, actually. Let's see. They made it to the round of 32. What does it even mean, I guess? That's weird, because you think it'd be the round of 16 would be the first playoff, like, knockout stage. But I guess not. I guess not, because it's like the teams dropping in and stuff, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, so Leicester made it to the round of 32 before getting knocked out. So we'll see, I guess, if we can do that. But this should be an interesting one. Looks like we should hopefully finish top 4 because if we turn some of the result around that because they finished 5th, we should be able to finish top 4. And then FA Cup, we're obviously going to win, so it should be interesting to see if we can pick up another trophy. Maybe we'll be the Europa League in addition to the FA Cup and make this a one-season one. But if not, it'll probably be 2 seasons, and we'll try to win the Community Shield. But yeah, so I think that's kind of it for this intro video. So not intro video, it's like intro section of the video. So I'm going to stop talking for now. In a couple seconds, it'll be the 2020-21 season recap. We'll see if we can, as I said, win another piece of silver besides the FA Cup. Okay, so here we are at the end of the 2020-21 season of our Leicester Kit Quest career mode with James Maddison and the nice maroon third kit Leicester wore that season, and they won the FA Cup. So yes, we are at the end of the season, so we will get into how we did in the league, the 2 cups, and the Europa League, plus player stats, transfers, and kind of owner goals and stuff. So I guess let's start. I think we're going to start by looking at the standings. Look at the owner goal. Now look at the standings first. I think we'll stick with that as our first method of thing. So that's the bulk of my gameplay time is obviously the matches, either playing or simming or whatever. So here we go. So Premier League, we finished 3rd in the Premier League on 91 points, well and ahead of the Scum, who finished 4th. We have 28 wins, 7 draws, and 3 losses. We had it looks like the best offense in the league, but the 3rd best defense, which probably explains why we are in 3rd. Well, it's not really sure. It all comes down to the last match of the season, but we'll get into that in a second. So yeah, so obviously you see here Liverpool kind of I guess they didn't really run away with it because we're only 5 points behind them. But yes, Liverpool won the league with the pretty solid stuff. Manchester City finished 2nd. As I said, the Scum finished 4th, and then the other Scum finished in 5th in the Europa League spot. So yeah, so in terms of how it was, we were kind of in and around the Champions League spots for most of the campaign, I think. Yeah, pretty much, because we only lost what 3 matches, which was I think it was both fixtures against. No, it wasn't. Okay, it was the away match to Liverpool in match week 6. Then we lost at home to Aston Villa in match week 25, and then the last week of the season, we lost to Manchester City away, where I based on the format we use, as I said, I try to mimic the results. I mimic the results as close as possible. So obviously Leicester beat City away in the 2021 season, but because we couldn't really move up, there's by that obviously the last match of the season, we were however many points behind Liverpool, so there's no way we could win the title. Even by then, he's ahead of that because I think I simmed the last 3 matches that way. No, okay, two of the last 3 because their third to last match of the season was Fulham at home, which they had Leicester lost the season anyway, so I quick simmed that one anyways. Then our last 2 matches were Newcastle away and City away, and I quick simmed both of those, even though Leicester had won both those fixtures because we couldn't pass Liverpool in the remaining fixtures. We were too many points behind, so we won the Newcastle one, but then lost the City one. Where obviously if I'd played that and won, we would have moved ahead of City into second on 94 points. So yeah, pretty solid season all around. In terms of the relegation battle, who got relegated. Scroll down, so I guess it wasn't really that tight of relegation scrap. I don't think Newcastle were really any danger of going down. They finished on 28 points, then 3 going down with Sheffield United on 23, Leeds on 22, and West Brom on 20 points. So pretty good stuff from them there. Yes, the third, not bad. I think board with goal was Champions League, so we finished in the top 4, which is solid. So in terms of the other stuff, so we got the Cups and the Europa League. So in terms of the FA Cup, we started around 3, right? We started around 3. Yep. Okay, so we're just gonna find Swansea City. There we go. So obviously FA Cup was Leicester won it that in 2020-21, which is why we're doing this Kick West Crew mode in the first place. So I played all these matches because they won every match in the FA Cup and won the FA Cup. Yeah, so round 3, we played Swansea at home, won 4-2 with goals from Jose Perez and Dennis Pryatt. Each of them had a brace. Round 4, we got Bristol Rovers away, so we had another favorable draw there, and won 3-0 with goals from, I'm going to butcher his name, I apologize in advance, Cengiz Under, I think it's Under, how you pronounce it, and then Jose Perez with the third goal. Round 5, where are we at? There we go. We got Crystal Palace at home. We won 5-1 with goals, 5 different goal scorers. It was Iheanacho, Perez, Under, Pryatt, and Harvey Barnes all scored in that one. Quarterfinals or round 6, we got Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we won 2-0 with goals. Oopsies, there we go, from Vardy and Dennis Pryatt. Then the semifinals, we got Arsenal at the Emirates, and we dispatched them with a heavily rotated side, 3-0 with goals from Jose Perez, Dennis Pryatt, and Cengiz Under. And then in the finals, we got a matchup against Leeds United, who at the time I didn't realize were in the relegation spot, so it would have been kind of like a Wigan situation. Or was it Wigan? Was it Wigan? I think it was Wigan, right? Who won the FA Cup? Hold on. Wigan Athletic. Right? They were the one that won the FA Cup and got relegated, right? Honors. Yeah, 2012-13 FA Cup. Yeah, because they had won the cup and then got relegated in the yeah. Okay, so it was Wigan who did that in 2012-13. So we almost had a Wigan situation there with Leeds, but we beat them 3-1 with goals from Yuri Tielemans, Harvey Barnes, and then James Maddison at the end with a nice kind of the old Ange ball, Brennan Johnson kind of back post tap-in situation, the low cross from Pereira at the end to seal off the victory, and a 3-1 win in the FA Cup final. Harvey Barnes was man of the match that match. You'll kind of see the highlights from that one at the end. Okay, so the next cup should be the Carabao. I wonder why it does in this order, because you think in terms of if you're doing prestige, I guess they do a reverse prestige wise, because Champions League is ahead of Europa League in this, so never mind. All right, so Carabao Cup, we started I think round 3 because we were in Europe, right? Yeah, round 3. So we got drawn to Bournemouth away at the Vitality, and obviously Leicester got knocked out. I think it was by Arsenal in the third round of the Carabao Cup that year. So I quick simmed the match with a pretty rotated side because I was like, I don't think Bournemouth were even in the Prem that year. I think they were in the Championship. That was when they were using the Championship. So I was like, I rotate the side, and I probably still have a decent chance of winning. And I was sorely mistaken. Cengiz Under scored our only goal, and we lost 2-1. They got knocked out. It looks like we go to the finals. Chelsea beat Liverpool on pens after a 1-1 draw. So yeah, we kind of crashed and burned early in the cup, but that probably benefit us in the long run because we just had the Europa League and the Premier League to worry about. We didn't have like an excessive amount of extra cup fixtures mixed in to kind of increase the fixture congestion too much. So then if we go to the preseason, that's kind of neither here nor there. That match, the match will be relevant later. Super Cup, Sevilla beat Bayern 3-1, which is surprising. This is the first time they've actually done that in these successive FIFA 21 career modes. And Champions League, obviously we weren't in it, so it doesn't really matter that much. But so it was an El Clasico final with Barcelona beating Real Madrid 1-0. And then the Europa League. So we were in Group L, which was like not actually our group at all. That was not actually Leicester's group at all that season. Like if I pull up my the Wikipedia page on their season that year, which I used to kind of look at the matches to see if I had to play or sim or whatever. For that first year, if you look at the group stage, yeah, they were in a group that season with Braga from Portugal, a Ukrainian club, Zorya Luhansk, which I don't think they've ever been in FIFA, so it's like, and then AEK Athens. So the two of those three clubs are usually in the games. So I don't know why they weren't like in our group. Instead, we were in a group with Roma, Sturm Graz, and Lyngby. Let's actually just check quick because we are here. Let's see if we can find for any of these other clubs that we actually were in our group were in this competition at all. So we're looking for Braga, the Ukrainian club, and Athens. So nope. There. Nope. Oh, there's Braga. So they were in Arsenal's group for whatever reason instead of ours. Feyenoord. Leverkusen. Anyaspor. Huh, so that's weird. I guess so Athens wasn't in it at all, which is interesting. I guess the two of the three teams weren't in it at all, which I guess explains in the game at all, which explains why our group is like so different. They could at least put Braga in our group, but neither here nor there. Because we probably ended up in a much easier group, to be fair. Because Roma obviously is a pretty decent side. Like, they're probably better than any of those three sides that were actually in the group with Leicester that year. But Sturm Graz and Lyngby are both like their like overall rating is like in the 60s. So those were like way too low. I feel like compared to like Athens is a decent enough side and stuff. But that's kind of why we ended up going 6-0 in the group with kind of mopping the floor with them. We see like 20 plus 20 goal difference there. But then we get to the round of 32, where the action really starts to matter. So round of 32. Nope, where are we? There we go. So we got FC Midtjylland. I think it's a Danish side. So I quick sim both these guys. Leicester lost that year in the round of 32. I think to who was it? To Slavia Prague from Czechia. So I drew the first leg and then lost the second leg. So I obviously did draw in the first leg, and then Iose Paris scored first, all like in like the slow sim, and they never responded, so I didn't have to do anything. And then the second leg I quick simmed, where we won 4-2 at home, with goals from James Maddison, 2 from Wilfred Ndidi, and 1 from Emerson Royale, to advance to the round of 16, 5-2 on aggregate. Round of 16 is either Arsenal lost to Trabzonspor, which I found mighty funny, but we got Bordeaux, which I was like, I don't even know, I'd never heard of them before. I think they're a French side, never heard of them before, and so I chucked them into like the 2 wins, 2 draw, 2 sim in the randomizer, and got quick sim for the first leg, which we lost 4-2, surprisingly, with goals from Davinson Sanchez and Jamie Vardy. And I was like, oh crap, we're probably gonna get knocked out, depending on how the randomizer works out here. Then we got lucky with the randomizer for the second leg at home at the King Power, which we got draw. So then I played from the start to get the tie level on aggregate at 4-4 with 2 goals from Jamie Vardy. and then kind of let it, went back into the slow sim, and then James Maddison scored 2 more in that to kind of see us ahead 4-1 in the match and 6-5 on aggregate, which is a pretty crazy aggregate score. 11 goals between the 2 legs. It's pretty wild. Quarterfinals, we got matchup against Sevilla, who were the holders, obviously. They won the Europa League the last season. And that's like the only team I think we faced in the knockout stage that they'd actually ever played before. So their history against them, I was able to go in and find it. And it was in, I think, the 2017 Europa League. They got matched up, I'm guessing, in the knockout stage at some point. And each side won a leg in that. So chucked 1 win, 1 play, 1 sim into the randomizer. And that's how it ended up. I think we got one. All right, let me go back to. Yeah, so we got sim for the first leg and then play for the second leg. So first leg, quick simmed it. We won 2-1 with the Harvey Barnes brace. And then the second leg, we won 3-2, which I played that match with 2 goals from James Maddison and 1 from Cengiz Under. In order to make it to the semifinals, was at 5-3 on aggregate. Yep. So then semifinals, we got a match against Bayer Leverkusen, who Leicester do have a little bit of history against, but it was from because obviously that season, 2020-21 IRL, Leicester finished 5th and made the Europa League, and they played Leverkusen in the knockout stages of that next season, the 21-22 Europa League campaign. So that's ahead of this in time, so I don't include those matches when I put the last 5 results in the randomizer. So obviously they never played besides that, so I just put 2 play, 2 slow sim, 2 quick sim in there, and here we go. And the first leg we got draw, and it was a Harvey Barnes hat trick to advance. Since we were those are all 3 through the slim. Harvey Barnes scored a hat trick, 3-1. So we were in a good place in the away leg at Leverkusen, and we got sim there. So I quick sim the match, closed my eyes, crossed my fingers, hoping we'd survive, and we did with the 1-0 result in Germany with the goal from Wesley Fofana to send us to the finals against Napoli, who another kind of thing there. I think actually no, they never. I missed. Okay, so I made that mistake there. My commentary. Yeah, so they've never played Leverkusen before. What I just said about what a couple seconds ago was about Napoli. So they had played Napoli in the I think it's the group stage of the 21-22 Europa League season, which I remember from our last James Maddison Leicester Kit Quest. So that was obviously after 2020-21. So I didn't include those results, and I checked the 2. So the same principle applied for the randomizer as for the Leverkusen one. And I was like, all right, come on, give us winner, draw, because at least draw I can influence the outcome a little bit. And we got lucky. We got win or slash play. So I played the match. Palms were sweaty. Knees weak, mom spaghetti and all that. And didn't need to be too nervous at all. So I ended up winning 3-0, as you can see here, with a brace from Jamie Vardy, who also would be, Mr. Leicester, Jamie Vardy, coming in clutch in the big Europa League final. Then you'll see James Maddison scored I'd say a pretty sweet goal, kind of seal things off in the second half, make it 3-0. Kind of picked up the ball on the outside of the box from, I think it was Harvey Barnes, took some dribbles inside, and kind of was at the U at the top of the box, and put a nice kind of like a classic Sunny finish curler into the top right-hand corner. Absolute beauty. Went off and celebrated, and we won the Europa League final 3-0. And so Jamie Vardy with his brace was man of the match in that one. But Maddison's goal, I think, was the most beautiful goal of the 3. And he also set up Jamie Vardy's second as well, so pretty solid stuff from Matters there. And I think that's it for the various competitions. Yep. So as we won, obviously the FA Cup, which I said wasn't going to count unless we literally went through the entire thing and never won another one, which we obviously don't have to worry about because we won the Europa League here. So this is a one and done season Kit Quest career mode with Leicester City here, which I don't mind TBH. I always, because obviously I want them to be a success. I don't mind if they go one season, but I wouldn't have minded kind of going another season, kind of bring in some additional players and seeing how it went, because we'd have at least had probably not the Super Cup, the Community Shield, where we probably could have won a trophy pretty early next season, but neither here nor there in that sense. So it took me like way too long to go through all the competitions there. Then you kind of try and speed it up here, so we'll go to board goals. So youth development signed 2 players under 20. We'll get into that in a second. We did transfers, as we will with the brand exposure. 33, 3 players from South America. And then I guess it wasn't like a 10-game streak. It was really just like, which that seems like way too easy an objective. It was really just like at some point get 10 matches unbeaten. So I think we didn't go on a 55 match unbeaten run like at any point in the season. I don't think. Like I don't even know how many. Really probably barely played that many matches. So geez, okay. Guess that was easy enough. Financial. If we like went to the end, we would have finished the tidy profit margin. Obviously, finished top 4, we finished 3rd, and then FA Cup we won. And then they wanted us to win the Europa League, which we did. So in terms of the transfer business one, if we go to transfers here, we'll look at those. My club. Are they sorted by date? No, they are not. There we go. So in terms of outgoings, we had Fuchs here, went to Lille for 1.3. Kind of a bunch of loans. And then first player from South America we brought in was, let me make sure I get his first name right. Federico Fazio from Roma. So he was at Tottenham for a couple of seasons, like I think like the early Poch era. Because like the positions we kind of needed players were wing back, either left or right, and then center back is where we kind of need the most help, kind of reinforcements. So that's why these like the players I brought in are the players I brought in. Because I was like, I need a center back from South America, pretty much. And there weren't really any who played for Aberdeen or Coventry or Norwich. So Tottenham, there was obviously Federico Fazio here. They basically replaced Johnny Evans, who went to Wolves for 12.5. Buck Albrighton didn't really fit our plans at all positionally, and he wasn't like he's too old to like shift his position around to something else. So he was went to Monaco for 7.6. Then our second kind of center back we brought in, second South American player, was Davinson Sanchez from Spurs, obviously for 25 mil. And then our fullback or wingback was I brought in Vibes King, who was Vibes King at Spurs before Basuma, was Emerson Royale. Honestly, still kind of miss him. Because obviously AC Milan didn't really work out for him too well, but obviously I loved Emerson when he was at Spurs. He was like, he did his job, didn't really play. He was always like kind of fun in like the team, like the videos team would post on social media and stuff. So I brought him in from Real Betis for 33 mil to be a Pereira's backup / kind of competition. Then our 2 under 20s brought in Xavi Simons from PSG for 1.5 mil. And then Destiny Udogie from Hellas Verona for 1.05. Because we're pretty stocked in most positions, so it's kind of just like let's find 2 players that are that age that kind of fit our criteria. So Simmons, obviously, and Udogie, both Tottenham players. So that's kind of why I brought them in. Because like Leicester's squad was honestly pretty decent in 2020-21, so like couldn't just gotten like any random players really from like Coventry, like the lower league sides, because they wouldn't have the potential to like, kind of fulfill the requirements of the objective. So that's kind of we brought in Udogie and Simons and send them mainly back out on loan. So kind of last thing to look at here, because this is taking longer than I thought, is just player stats. So we can kind of just go through those and then wrap it up here. So, oops, that's the wrong thing. So Kasper Schmeichel, he finished 4th in the Gold Glove race with 13 clean sheets. The winner of that was Ederson. He had 22 at Man City, because he only won like 19 goals all year. So was it 19 or was it 17? It was 19 goals all season. So didn't have a chance at that one, but he had a pretty solid season. In terms of kind of look through some of these other players. There's Emerson. Hamza Tudor, I played him mostly as the center backs, again, if you needed center backs. Mendy was there, he was solid. Wilfred Ndidi, pretty decent season. Dennis Pryatt. Dewsbury Hall. There we go. Yuri Tielemans, pretty solid season. A lot of his goals were clutch ones in both the Europa League and the FA Cup. He was doing good work for us there. Cheki Zounder, also a pretty solid season as well. Chipping in when he was like rotated in for Maddison in all 3 competitions. Here's the man, so we'll save him for the end. So Jose Perez, pretty solid stuff in the Europa League, and then Premier League, 12 goals, 5 assists, which is nice, but wasn't enough for top 10 either. Harvey Barnes, his 19 goals in the league was good for 5th, and then his 7 assists was good for 10th. Iheanacho, so yeah, he got injured. When did he get injured? Got injured. So it was in the FA Cup round 5 match against Crystal Palace. He got hurt and broke one of the bones in his leg and was out for 7 months. I will say Maddison did miss some time with injury as well. He got a knee injury in the home victory against Liverpool, where I thought we might have been in the title race, but then we lost like our next league match against Aston Villa, which kind of took us out of the title race really. So he got injured in that Liverpool match and then missed a month, but that was kind of around one of the international breaks. Thankfully, no, it wasn't really. It was around kind of more of a cup season, so we were able to like kind of survive without him because there wasn't really that many matches. It was like FA Cup season, kind of Europa League Carabao semi season and stuff, so we didn't miss too many matches with his knee injury, but he did come back. And then Iheanacho, I don't think he wasn't top 10 for anything in terms of goals and assists. And then Jamie Vardy here, kind of Leicester's main man, 15 goals in the league, was good for 10th. And then his 10 assists was good for 4th. Then if we go back up to just James Maddison here to wrap it up. So Maddison was probably one of our best players this year, 23 goals, 19 assists, and all. Actually, I guess Jose Perez had better stats, TBH, but I don't know how many of those. Yeah, so I guess Perez had better stats. He was a striker, though. But for midfield, I'd say 23 goals, 19 assists, pretty solid stuff. So 15 goals was tied for 10th with Jamie Vardy. And then his 13 assists in the league was first, one ahead of Bruno at Manchester United. And then first in the Golden Boot was Sadio Mane at Liverpool with 30. But yeah, so Matters, excellent season from him. So yeah, this is another successful Kit Quest career mode, which I was pretty excited about. The maroon kit's very nice, I like it. And as I Matt is one of my favorite players, so I won't mind getting him a couple of James Maddison kits like that. So actually, let me just leave it on Matters, I guess, as we wrap it up here. James Maddison, James Maddison, James Maddison. There he is. Okay. Yeah, so the successful one's pretty exciting. Like a lot. In terms of what's next on the channel, I think it's going to be some FGO content. So we're kind of getting back into moving along on the FGO front. So it's going to be like, obviously, I think the first. Ooh, jeez. Sorry about that. Initial like videos will be the rank up quests, interludes, and stuff for a bunch of the servants we met in Septum, and then it won't be Orleans next. It'll actually be the first kind of event that had a story in FGO. I think like my friend who introduced me to the game has been like I've been playing since launch pretty much. So he will be able to give me the footage of the story from the there's a Moon Goddess Stream of Dumplings event, which is the first event with the story. So that'll be kind of next on the channel, and then we'll start. So that'll be kind of quick, and then after that it'll be probably more kind of Jersey Quest, Kit Quest, and other Let's Plays and stuff as well. But yeah, so thank you for checking this out, and hopefully you're looking forward to the kind of new set of FGO content that's coming after this as well. Thank you.
One side celebrating and the other distraught. And Lee, memories are being made.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter how much money you've got in the bank. Players will always look back at moments like these. These moments where you pick trophies up, you win medals. Absolutely brilliant for this group of players.
Yep, you can see what it means to this tight-knit team. Real solidarity.
Well, it's these moments, Derek, when you get your hands on the silverware and that little medal that goes around your neck might seem small now, but you'll look back at that, show your grandkids. Absolutely superb memories these players will have of this game.
Yes, a special moment in the career of any footballer. And now for the trophy lift itself. The cup winners.
Yeah, it's been a long old road to get to this point. They're going to celebrate now and certainly celebrate long into the night, I think.
There's always the element of chance in a cup competition, but my goodness, they've taken the rough with the smooth, and now they savour the moment. And this is really special, getting to celebrate in front of your own fans, Lee.
Well, it's giving something back. These fans have travelled all over the place following their team. Now they get to join in the celebrations, go into the crowd and give them the cup, that's what I say.
Well, then it might never find its way to the trophy cabinet, Lee.
Well, all that hard work along the way in this tournament all comes together at the end when you pick the trophy up. Just look at them celebrating. A brilliant moment.
Hard work indeed, Lee. The trophy now in their possession. The net is staring him in the face. And the goalkeeper, Lee, a picture of concentration.
Well, he had his eye on the ball, he waited for the striker, and then he smothered it. It's really...
And a goal! The first of the contest.
Well, it's always best to get your nose in front in the final. Really puts the...
Oh, he's through here. And a goal! And what an important goal in the grand scheme of things.
Well, it's the sort of determination and desire that's...
Well, you know, I don't think the goalkeeper will be the slightest bit bothered by that effort.
Well, he won't want to watch that on the replay, I tell you. He was...
Can they forge ahead? And with that, they take the lead.
Well, just look at the celebrations, Derek. The fans are starting to believe it's theirs.
Pereira. A goal! And that is going to be that. Name on the trophy for certain. Disappointment on one side, but sheer jubilation on the other. And my goodness, Lee, they deserve it.
Absolutely deserve it. They were running the clock down at the end. The referee obliged and blew his whistle. And quite rightly so. They're now on the halfway line celebrating with all their teammates. I'm pretty sure all the subs, etc. will come running on as well. A great, great night for this football club.
That's a party to last throughout the year, I should think. We're very happy to be celebrating good times in the Europa League. And now the trophy awaits them.
Well, all those months of hard training sessions, pre-season training, you kind of look forward to get yourself through those sessions, and they'll be looking forward at moments like this. And they've finally got their hands on this fantastic, magnificent trophy.
This is what they've wanted. Now it's in their possession. The winners of the UEFA Europa League.
Long celebrations into the night, I'm pretty sure, Derek. It's going to go on and on.
Yeah, I think they have every intention of making this last as long as possible. One more trophy left, why not? Yes. And now they get to enjoy the moment with the fans who've made the journey here for the final.
Well, it's their trophy as well, and they play a huge part in a club's season, not only domestically, but in competitions abroad. They travel far and wide to watch this team, and they're celebrating and sharing this moment. Absolutely fantastic.
And now the players get to relax a bit and enjoy having the pictures taken.
Well, you know exactly where I'd be sitting in that photo, don't you, Derek?
I think I've heard it before, Lee.
Straight at the front.
Tielemans to take the lead. There it is! How about that for starters?
Well, what a huge moment that might be for this club. The fans are going absolute.
Not the easiest of situations for the keeper. And an opportunity for Napoli to get right back into this game. Corner. Maddison with it. And he takes it on. And it goes! Well, it's one goal after another. A highly impressive performance.